Hey guys, my name is Timio, and today's challenge, a lot of you wanted me to partake in the UZI Sniper loadouts. This, of course, consists of using the UZI alongside the 4x scope, but to make matters even worse, you also had me slap on the suppressor. I hate every single one of you that recommended this loadout. It took me a solid week to complete this challenge, not because I was lazy and I was putting it off. Nay, I was putting in maybe a good solid hour or two every single day trying to make this loadout work to get some at least decent gameplay. But just after those couple of hours, I would have to step away from my computer. I rage quit more for this challenge than I think I have ever done for this entire video series. It was a nightmare. And so easily, the biggest thing that I had to overcome with this challenge was a combination between its damage model, bullet velocity, bullet deviation, and rounds per minute. All of those were working against me. All of them. This thing actually hits really hard if you're able to close the gap. You are going to do 34 damage per bullet in close encounter combat, or about 12 meters and closer, and that basically requires only 3 bullets to drop someone from 100% to 0. That's a great quality about the UZI. But because you clearly wanted this to be a sniper loadout, you wanted me to snipe my enemy. As soon as the enemy only gets 20 meters away, it drops down to 12 damage per bullet. This essentially means that I need to put 9 bullets into my enemy if I want to come out of a firefight alive. You guys have probably noticed already in today's video that this thing is a hit marker machine. There were times where I would put 6 or 7 bullets into my enemy, they would realize that someone was throwing rocks at them, turn around and win the firefight. That would happen over and over and over again. It really wasn't down to skill anymore. There was nothing I could do to come out of some of these firefights because of this damage model. Because you guys wanted me to snipe, as long as the enemy had at least some sort of inclination of the environment around them, if they had any idea to how to play a first-person shooter, they were gonna win these firefights 99% of the time. It was a nightmare. Another thing I had to overcome is its ridiculously slow travel speed. Because you wanted me to use the suppressor, its normal 390 meter per second bullet velocity drops down to 180. Alongside its 15 meters per second squared bullet drop, this thing is nearly impossible to predict where the enemy is going to be and make sure that your bullets are going to land and hit the target. On top of that, not only its bullet velocity, God, I'm losing my mind just even talking about it, you have to deal with its bullet deviation. I'm going to pepper this guy out in the distance. Watch where the bullets land. It seriously looks like I'm spitting at him. More bullets are falling outside of my reticle than where I'm actually aiming my ACOG scope. And so the result of this was that not only did I have to predict the movement of my enemy because of that slow travel speed and that obscene bullet drop, but then I also had to get lucky enough that at least a few of my bullets were gonna land where my ACOG scope because of that ridiculous bullet deviation. And then the true cherry on top is that the UZI only has a rounds per minute of 600. If the UZI had a blazing fast rounds per minute, this challenge wouldn't have been nearly as difficult. If I was able to put a bunch of bullets down range very quickly, then that 9 rounds to drop someone from 100% to 0 wouldn't have felt like an eternity, and I would have been able to maybe drop these targets before they would be able to turn around and realize that I was trying to take them out with a spoon. That clearly wasn't the case, and so with the combination between its slow RPM, its stupid damage model, its bullet velocity alongside the bullet deviation, this really was a challenge for the record books. One thing that took me by surprise is that when I initially started this challenge, I tried to put the UZI in semi-automatic mode. It's not possible. I thought that was standard on all of the weapons of Battlefield Hardline. Maybe this was authenticity, maybe Visceral was going for a realistic feel, which is great, I think that's fine, but that would have made this challenge even more ridiculous if I didn't have the benefit of going full auto and taking advantage of that 600 RPM. That said though, I did try this on the M45 submachine gun. They're basically the same weapon. They do have a few different stats here and there. The M45 has 5 more rounds in its magazine, a little bit more recoil, but when you really get down to it, they're pretty much the same gun, but you do have the ability to put the M45 in semi-automatic. I noped the hell out of there very quickly. I did attempt it for a few hours, and you guys are seeing the result of that. I did get a couple of kills here and there, but it basically has the same pitfalls of the UZI. A few stats are slightly different, but basically in semi-automatic. And so maybe in the future, if I want to punish myself, if I want to really challenge myself, I will attempt the M45 sniper loadout, but I felt for now the UZI was enough. And so overall, this challenge has basically solidified in my mind that you guys are all terrible people. You guys are the worst. But also that the Uzi just needs an upgrade. The M45 needs a buff. These guns, even though this loadout was stupid, it really just amplified how ridiculous they are in Hardline. These are not competitive. You can do well. If you're able to close the gap, they are decent, but if the MPX, the nerfed K10, all of these other weapons are far superior to these two guns, and it just doesn't make any sense why they weren't upgraded in the most recent patch. And so I'm crossing my fingers that Visceral realizes that this is an issue. I would have hoped that they would have realized this was an issue the last month and put them in the patch, but I really don't know their mentality right now. And so hopefully in the future, they will see at least some small tweaks here and there. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's challenge. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you have a loadout that you would like me to try next, let me know down below in the comments. This is a video series that is based off of your recommendations. And so if there is a gadget that you would like me to use exclusively or a weapon with a terrible combination of attachments, let me know down below. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.